Hey guys, Adam here with AmericanMuscle.com, and today we're taking a closer look at and installing and dyno testing the Bama Rev X tuner from SCT with 2 custom tunes available for the 11 to 14 GT and 12 to 13 Boss 302. Now before we jump into all the details of the Rev X itself and the tunes, what do you say we head over to the dyno and take a look at our results? Now guys, we strapped down a 2012 Mustang GT to the dyno and established our baseline run with 93 octane in the tank, walked away with 365 horsepower and 343 pound-feet of torque at the rear wheels. We then of course uploaded our Bama 93 octane tune, ran it under the same conditions, walked away with 397 horsepower and 382 pound-feet of torque at the rear wheels. Good for peak gains of 32 horsepower and 39 torque at the rear. Now, those numbers alone are pretty impactful, they are pretty impressive, but curve gains get even better. Now, under the curve, we're seeing as much as 50 horsepower and as much as 47 torque gains at the rear wheels, which really, guys, that's what you're gonna feel out on the road, and this Mustang is really reaping the benefits in the 93 tune from Bama, maximizing performance, and as you can see, the results speak for themselves. Included in the 2 tunes from Bama will be an 87 octane and a 93 race tune for the higher octane fuel. Now, for daily drivers out there or weekend warriors just looking for a little something extra to make driving a little bit more fun on the daily commute or carving corners, the 87 tune is going to be a great option. It's the lower octane, you don't have to worry about picking up the more expensive 93, and it still gives you a little bit extra over stock. If you're looking to maximize the performance of your S197, the 93 race tune from Bama is going to be the way to go. Modifies things like air-fuel ratio, timing, spark, and a number of other parameters while keeping safety in mind to really give you a good performance and an impressive performance out of your S197. In addition to the tunes, however, you have a number of other features to take advantage of. There's a DTC code reader, for example, the diagnostic trouble code being your check engine light. Now, if the dreaded check engine light comes on in your dash, you don't need a separate dongle to read that. Plug in your Rev X, read the code, get a description, and clear it all from that menu. In addition to that, there's a gauges and data log screen I highly recommend taking advantage of. I'd recommend picking up a windshield mount for this device sold separately to keep it within arm's reach and within eyesight of the driver's seat to monitor live engine vitals all on the screen. You can customize what you see on the gauges screen. You can see things like air-fuel ratio, coolant temp, air intake temp, sensors, so on and so forth, all on that device without having to change much. You can change up what gauges you want to see, the display, the orientation, monitor up to 8 options at once, and we'll walk through that in just a little bit. You can record a data log and send that over to Bama via email or via the cloud, which we'll talk about in a second, which is going to be useful in getting tune revisions if necessary. In addition to that, that cloud capability is an option on the Rev X, not an option on some of the other tuners like the X4, so it's a new feature for that Rev X device. Cloud basically means you can do things wirelessly. You get Wi-Fi updates, you can do Wi-Fi downloading of your tunes, so if you get tune revisions from Bama, they can upload it to the cloud and you can access it right on your device without needing a laptop or a computer, just a Wi-Fi network. Speaking of revisions, you're automatically enrolled in the Bama Free Tunes for Life program with the purchase of a Bama tune and a device such as the Rev X or even the X4. Now, what that basically means is anytime that you add or remove a power adder, say a cold air intake, long tube headers, or a catback, or even just change up things, you can hit up Bama, they'll rewrite the tune to include your changes that you made to your vehicle to maximize the performance free of charge. Huge value, in my opinion, for this device and the tunes included. Now, all that's wrapped into a package that comes in right around 400 bucks. And the install, I'm giving 1 out of 3 wrenches on our difficulty meter. Anybody can tackle this in the driveway at home with about 30 minutes from start to finish. No real hand tools are needed. You only need what's in the kit. Now, I'm gonna walk you through every single step of the process here. What do you say we get started? Now, the first step, guys, for the tuning process is to grab the harness included in the kit. You're gonna plug one end into the OBD2 port under your driver's side dashboard and the other end into your Rev X. You're gonna go right under here, find that port. It should be just under your headlight knob, right around there. All right, now we can grab the other end, plug it in here, shut the door, and get the tuning. Now from the main menu, I just wanna show you guys how to jump right into the tuning process. So from the main menu, hit Program Vehicle, confirm your VIN. Now it's going to let you know internet is required to move forward, especially when it comes to updates and pulling things off the cloud. So we've already connected to the internet, so we're going to hit continue. But if you haven't, you can use device settings to get into it, or it'll connect through here. All right, so it looks like at this point it's going to make an update. We'll come back when the update's done, but if you do need an update, make sure you don't unplug your device. You want to make sure it's all complete before you do anything. All right, once the device is up to date, you can press OK. Once the software update is done, it'll begin a firmware update. So you have one more update if it's right out of the box. Again, guys, just have a little bit of patience and don't unplug the device. All right, update complete. Hit OK. Now it'll ask for a cloud sync. Now if your tuner, in this case Bama, uploaded your tune to the cloud, you can access it here wirelessly once connected to your Wi-Fi. Now we've already gotten our tune file on the device, so we're gonna hit skip, but if you haven't done so already, hit that cloud sync. Make sure you're keysing the ignition in the on position, but do not start your engine. Press continue. At this point, you can select your tune. Now, for this purpose, we're only gonna use the 93 race tune, so I'm gonna select that, but you wanna make sure you're selecting whichever tune you wanna flash to your vehicle. From there, it'll load up, sync your factory tune, your stock tune to the device, save it so you can always revert back to stock at any time, and then it'll begin writing the tune. Before it does that, I'll let you know this is gonna disable preloaded tunes, so you can just hit confirm there. If you want to make any additional tune changes, things like tire size, gear ratio, speed limiter, rev limiter, so on and so forth, you can hit change now and go through that process. We're just going to use that tune that we've received from Bama without any changes. At this point, it saves the stock tune and then tunes your vehicle. So again, don't unplug your device until it's finished. Now, it may prompt you to turn your key off at certain points. In this case, you want to follow that direction and then back on. But when it starts loading, you definitely don't want to turn the key off unless it tells you otherwise. All right, at this point, it'll let you know programming is complete. You can hit done, it takes you back to the main menu, and you're good to go. Now guys, I want to take you through some of the actual features other than programming your vehicle in the Rev X device. Now, under Program Vehicle, you'll see gauges and data log. If you click this, you'll actually be able to monitor live engine vitals on the fly if your key is in the ignition. What this basically means is you can monitor coolant temps, air-fuel ratio. You want to make sure you're selecting your configuration. So if it's the first time you're using this, you have to go in and find your vehicle. So this is a 2014, so we want to go down to Ford Gas 08 and newer vehicles. You basically want to start with the proper configuration, and then from there it monitors your engine's vitals. Now, as you can see, we have 2 gauges. This is super useful for guys who want to monitor things, have adjustability without having to have a bunch of gauge pods on your dash, your A-pillar, so on and so forth. Now, as you can see, we're tracking 2 things here. We have control module voltage and coolant temp. Now, say you want coolant temp, but you want to change control module voltage. You're going to click on that one, select item. Say you want to monitor intake air temp. Select it, hit approve, and it changes that block. One other thing you can do is select our gauge layout. Instead of monitoring 2 vitals, we want to monitor the max, up to 8. So you can select that layout. You have 8 gauges listed on your screen with the data you want. From there, you can data log, you can start recording data, send that to and from your tuner, in this case Bama. If you want to make revisions, you have free revisions with the Bama Tunes for Life program, and that's really useful to have here directly on the Rev X. So if you want to get out of it, we're just going to hit stop data log from that menu, it takes you back to the main menu. Under that, vehicle functions. Read and clear DTC codes. DTC being diagnostic trouble codes, so if your check engine light comes on, you don't need a different code reader. You can plug your Rev X right into your OBD2 like we have here. Select read codes. It'll let you know the code and a description. Once you have it taken care of, you can clear the code and get rid of that check engine light. Special functions, most people won't use. You can use cam reset, cam relearn, things like that. We're not going to need to go into that today. Now, vehicle info is useful if you're requesting a new tune, or if you need access to your VIN number, your computer code, or your ECM strategy code. So that's everything you need for a new tune. Device info gives you serial number for the device, and you'll be able to see if you have the latest firmware versions, how many unlocks you have left, and if your status is paired. Now, paired basically means this Rev X is paired to this vehicle. Unlocks being that's how many times you can unlock it and go to a different vehicle. You're limited to 3 of those with the Rev X device. Device settings, 4 of the top options are super useful. Check for updates, cloud file sync, upload data log to cloud, and Wi-Fi, which you'll need for the other 3 options. Check for updates. I always recommend doing when you get new tunes. You just want to make sure your device is up to date. Cloud file sync's pretty obvious. When Bama sends you a new tune, they may put it on the cloud. You can wirelessly grab that from the cloud on your device with Wi-Fi instead of having to plug it into your computer to sync that way. Same thing goes for data log, but in reverse. If you data log your vehicle on your device, you can upload it to the cloud wirelessly via Wi-Fi for Bama to grab and go for revisions. Under that, brightness, orientation, you can change the theme, the background theme. There's blue options, red options, white options. Startup function is pretty useful. You can start it up. When you plug your device in, it can automatically go to the gauges and data log screen. If you always have it plugged in on a windshield mount, you can select this from the device settings. If every time you turn your car on and this boots up, you want it to go straight into your gauges. So that's pretty useful. Other than that, you can hit exit, takes you back to the main menu, and those are your features. That's going to wrap up my review, install, and dyno test for the Bama Rev X tuner with 2 custom tunes for all 11 to 14 GTs and 12 to 13 Boss 302s. Now, if you want to pick up this kit, you can do so right here at AmericanMuscle.com.